So by using the camel expressions, we can retrieve, we can read the data from, exchange properties of message exchange, header part of message exchange, body part of message exchange, exception part of message exchange, anything. Using camel expressions, we can read so many things. Okay. So here, to read the body of a message, we are keeping $.in.body. Okay. To read the property, to read the header of a message, this is the syntax: header dot header name. Okay. To read the property, $property dot property name. Okay. So likewise, I will give you some other camel expressions also down the course. So these are the things we discussed till now. Okay. So now let's go here. Okay. Order number. So in.body, and also we have defined one more property, right? So smart choice. So what I will do here, the processing I'll put like this: regards $property dot id. Okay. Let us run this. Okay. So here I do not want to put attachment. Okay. So I'd like to delete this one. Okay. I'm not keeping any attachment, only the body. Okay. So before running the iflow, I'd like to enable the trace. Okay. So trace. I am saving, deploying the iflow. So now there would be a mail triggered . So see in the sent items, email for the confirmation of the order. Where is the order number here? Why we haven't received order number? Why we haven't received the order number? What is the expression we have given? Header dot order ord no. So is it the same we gave here?
The syntax is wrong.
Syntax is okay. Here the name is different. Order num, right? So the name must be same. Okay, then only. So okay. Let me run it again. Save, deploy. See now, email for the confirmation of the order 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, this is first email. Regards, smart choice. So this is the property we have defined in the content modifier. and this is the header we have defined in the content modifier. See, we define header or property in the content modifier section. Okay, those two variables we have read in the mail adapter section. Similarly, once you define any property or any header, you can reuse that at any place. Okay, just like how I have shown you by using the camel expression. By using the camel expression. So what are the different camel expressions that we use in day-to-day in our projects? Okay, I will share those camel expressions. Okay, you can go through, but mainly these three are main: in dot body, okay, header dot header name, property dot property name. These three are main. Similarly, we have few more camel expressions. Suppose if any message failed, I want to know the error. Okay, exception dot message. Okay, exception dot message. Then this gives the error. What is the error? Okay, likewise we have some other camel expressions as well. I will share. Okay, so as of today, do you have any questions? So whatever we discussed till now, camel exchange, any questions here? Any questions here?
No.
Anyone? Any questions? So everyone able to understand? అందరికి అర్థమైందా?
Yeah.
Clear? Okay. So next, so what is this message exchange pattern? So this message exchange pattern is nothing but it describes the mode of communication. What are the two different modes of communication? One is asynchronous message processing. One is synchronous message processing. So what is asynchronous message processing? What is synchronous message processing? Okay, so let's discuss that. So in previous classes, we discussed this is our diagram. Okay, where there will be a source application, there will be a target application, in the middle our CPI or CI application, which acts as a middleware. So here see, source application sends data to CPI. CPI sends data to vendor. Okay. So in this particular case, does source application know that whatever the data is sent here, is it successfully reached by vendor? Anybody?
No.
No, right? So this is called as asynchronous message processing. Okay, asynchronous.
Responsible.
Yeah, asynchronous means simply I'll send out a message, but I will not know whether the message I sent reached the end receiver or not. Okay, so simply I'll send out and I'll sit. I don't have any information that whatever I sent that is reached here. Okay, So this is asynchronous mode of message processing. Then what is synchronous mode? In synchronous mode, what happens? There will be a response back. In synchronous mode, there will be a response back from receiver. Okay, in synchronous mode, there will be response back.
Both way the communication will be happen.
Yeah.
Like we will send request and we will get response.
So we'll send a request and we receive a response back. So this communication, we call it as request reply. You send out request and you receive a response. Okay. In this particular case, now sender knows that whether data sent out is reached by the receiver or not. Clear or not? So here I am asking a question to you. Okay. So if you do not respond back to me, I do not understand whether you understood the concept or not. Asynchronous communication. So I am asking a question to you. You respond with an answer. Yes, Praveen, we understand. That is synchronous communication. Okay. We always want synchronous communication, guys. So please respond. Okay. Not in projects, we always want synchronous communication, but in classes, we always want synchronous communication. I will say something to you. You need to respond whether you understood or not. You have any questions. Okay. We need synchronous communication here. So these are the two ways of communication that are followed, okay, while designing the integration flow. So this particular information will be stored in the message exchange pattern. Is it request reply, asynchronous case? Asynchronous case, we call this as request only. Synchronous processing, we call it as request and response or request reply. Request reply. Clear? Asynchronous means request only. Sender sends data outside. Okay. Now sender does not have any information that the actual receiver received the data. Okay. We do not know whether data failed in CPI or whether data failed in here. Whatever. We do not have any information. Whereas in synchronous communication, I'll send some data out. Okay. I'll receive a response. Based on that response, I will understand that the data I sent out is processed or is received by the receiver. Okay. Suppose the message sent here is failed in CPI. What happens? It will not go to here. This receiver will not send out a response. So source system will not receive a response. So usually what happens is once the source system sends out some data, it waits for certain duration. It waits for some, say, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes as per the configuration to listen the response back. Okay. If there is no response received during that time, then sender throws timeout error, timeout. So I have waited almost 3 minutes for the response as per the configuration. I haven't received any response back. So it will throw timeout error. So that stands as sender did not receive any response. Okay. Clear or any doubts?
No, Praveen.
Yeah, I received the response.
Clear.
Yeah. Okay. So next, we discuss one more concept. What are the different, these are all we need to know. What are the different types of data? So mainly we categorize it as master data, transactional data. What is master data? What is transactional data? Okay. So we discussed till today, okay, in CPI is a middleware. Okay. Source application will send some data. Okay. CPI will transform that into a different format. Understood? I mean, expected by receiver. And that data we will send it to receiver. What data it is? We are talking about, we are sharing some data. We are transferring some data from one application to other application. What data it is? Anyone? What data it is?
Employee data.
Master data.
Hmm?
Employee data.
Employee data. Okay, right. Only employee data. We always transfer employee data. Okay, let us go back to the old diagram. Yeah, see now, what data we transfer from one system to other system? What data it can be? What data it is?
Business related.
Business related. Exactly. So business related means whatever the business we do in the front end, okay, the related data, it could be a invoice, it could be an expense, it could be a payroll, it could be an order, it could be a delivery, it could be an order confirmation, it could be a delivery confirmation, right? It could be a payroll, it can be procurement, materials, manufacturing, anything, right? So this is all data that will be transferred from one system to other system. So now what is this categorization? Master data and transactional data. Okay. So master data, we call it as the data which will never change or which rarely changes. Okay. Which rarely changes. That is master data. So what does it mean? So guys, so as an industry, so assume I am a bike manufacturing industry. My industry is a bike manufacturing industry. Okay. So tell me some raw materials which I need to manufacture a bike.
Tires like rubber.
Like tires, right? I need tires.
Right.
I need
And
steel. I need steel.
Yeah.
Steel or iron. Okay. Some plastic material, right? Some
Glass.
glass material, some paints, right? Just high level, these are the things. Okay. So as a company, so how do I run my business here? Suppose I want tires. I want tires. What do? I all of a sudden call MRF. Hey, Mr. MRF, could you please send some 10,000 tires of this specification by end of today? Is it like that? Or I'll call Seat or Apollo or Echo, whatever, right? So please send these tires. these many tires by this day. Is it like that?
No, we should be send them a proper way, like
So
any mail format.
yes,
Like,
yes. In advance, right? While setting up our business itself, if we have a requirement a year upfront, okay? In the next year, we have a requirement. By now itself, we have to start negotiating the terms, okay? I will reach out to MRF. I will establish a contract. I will establish a contract with MRF as a company, okay?
we
I
need
will
to take some quotations.
yeah, yes, I will onboard MRF as a vendor in my company. So MRF is a authentic vendor for my company. Okay, that information I will store in my system's database. That information is called master data. Okay, so in this particular case, this is vendor master data. So MRF company is a vendor who supplies materials. Okay, who supplies materials. So material in the sense here tires. Who supplies tires. The information about the MRF vendor, the name of the vendor, okay, the address of the vendor, the account number of the vendor, okay, the location of the vendor, all these things are master data, which doesn't change. Am I correct or not? Am I correct
Yes.
or not? The name of the company MRF will change from day to day. The address of the company will change day to day. The phone number of the company will change day to day. The account number of the company will change day to day. No, right? So as soon as we establish a contract with a vendor, okay, we onboard that vendor into our system, okay, through vendor master data. Through vendor master data. Vendor master data, there is something, some place in our SAP's database, we store that vendor master data information. Similarly, customer. Vendor is a person from whom we buy the raw materials. Suppose customer is a person where we sell our products, right? So as a company, we usually do not send, usually big companies do not send, do not sell to the end users. There will be some dealers or somewhere, okay, registered dealers. So that information also will store in the system. That is called as customer master data. Customer master data. Similarly, we have one more master data, material master data. So in our company, what are all the materials available? Everything is a material, guys. Everything is a material. So from chair, table, for everything, there is a barcode. Okay. That number will be stored in the system. Okay. So that is called material master data. Okay. So these things are called master data, material master data, customer master data, vendor master data. Okay. So while establishing business, okay, we load these master data into the system. We load these master data into the system. With which customer we are doing the business, with which vendor we are doing the business, what are all the materials we have. Okay, these are all the master data. You got idea what is master data now?
Yes, Praveen.
So now what is transactional data then? Transactional data is nothing but our
Transactions.
day-to-day transactions we do.
Day-to-day transaction.
Hang on.
Buying and selling.
Yeah. So day-to-day transactions.
Transactions. Purchasing, selling.
Yeah, transactions.
Expenses.
So this data we call as transaction data. So example, suppose invoice, suppose delivery, suppose order, okay, payments. All these comes under transactional data. Expenses, invoices, orders, right? Deliveries. These are all transactions, expenses, payroll. These are all transaction data, pricing. These are all transactional data. Okay. Suppose, assume here one simple logic is, suppose I need to send out an invoice. Suppose in our previous example, I purchased some 10,000 MRF tires from MRF company. Now MRF will issue a invoice to me, right? So against that invoice, our company should send out a payment. These things are automatic. Okay, once all the flow is set up, these things are automatic. Okay, so as soon as invoice is received, okay, against that invoice for that particular vendor, we will have that vendor account details, okay, in the system somewhere noted. So immediately payment runs directly to their bank or some application somewhere, whatever the process they follow.
Auto payment mode.
Yeah. This is all set up in the backend through our SAP ERP software. We will also part of that process. So this is all called as automation. This is all nothing but automation of business processes. So we are part of automating business processes. Automating business processes. So what are all the different business process? If you think about, suppose from order to cash is a business process. From getting an order to receiving a money in our account. So once we get an order, what we'll do? We will deliver the order and then we will receive cash. So hire to retire. Hire to retire. Hire to retire. Hiring an employee to retiring an employee. This is all HR process. Okay. Similarly, there are multiple. What else you can think of? Hire to retire, order to cash, lead, something else here, lead. There are some other business process as well. All these business processes we automate. We are automating as part of by this ERP software and respective tools. Okay. Okay. So any doubts till here?
For example, in our daily life, EMIs can be automated, like our EMIs.
Yeah, EMIs. Yeah.
We can consider.
Everything, whatever you are seeing. Suppose one example here, we have an ATM. Okay. So I will put my card in the ATM. I will enter my PIN and I will put some amount. Okay. And click OK. So what happens? It will access, that ATM machine will access my bank account. Okay. And it will check whether there is a sufficient money. If there is sufficient money, then whatever the money I entered, it will deduct that money. And I will receive a cash. At the same time, it will check whether cash is there or not. Okay. At the same time, as soon as this debit transaction runs on your account, you will receive an immediate SMS saying this much amount is debited, the remaining amount is this much. This is all a setup. Banking. Okay. How this is happening in similarly, order to cash process also, hire to retire, everything happens automatically. Okay. When it happens automatically, once we set this up, once we set that software up, then it runs automatically. So we are part of setting that software, enabling that automation, enabling that business automation. We are part of it as a CPI developer, or it could be whether he is a CPI developer, or he is a finance developer, or he is a sales developer, or he is a legal, or he is procurement planning, or he is material management, HR, payroll, expenses, whatever. We are all part of automating business processes. Okay, so we all should work with each other. Suppose I need to automate a payroll processing. I mean, there is a requirement to automate payroll processing. Then the person from finance, the person from payroll application, the person from CPI application, all has to work together to achieve that automation, to achieve that interface setup. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? Any questions, anyone?
Yes.
As I said, we follow synchronous, guys. I need a response, please.
No.
Any
No
questions? You understood this? Everything is clear? Whatever we discussed, all clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then we'll stop here today. So in the next class, we discuss different formats of data. Okay. So we know data transfer is happening from one application to other application. So we know what are the different types of data. So now in which format source application will send the data to CPI, or CPI will send it to receiver? What are the different standard formats available? Okay. All those formats we'll discuss in the tomorrow's class. After that, we deep dive this content modifier. Okay. What does it mean? Time? Is there any time for asynchronous or synchronous processing? I do not understand. Time means?
In the backend time setup, I think we want to, his doubt is
Sorry?
like if you send a response,
Ah.
we'll get if you send a request, we'll get a response immediately or not. Is there any time duration period?
Yeah. That is what time limit.
What I
Time out.
understood.
Yeah, that is what time out. Okay. So whenever source application sends out a request, there will be a default configuration, some 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. Okay. This particular application waits for that 3 minutes of time. Okay. Within the 3 minutes, if the response is not received by this application, then it throws timeout error. Even if it's CPI also, here also, CPI forwards the request to receiver and it waits for certain duration, say 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. Okay. So that timeout even you can see in iFlow also. See timeout here. We have put 30 seconds as a timeout. This is for connecting to the server. Within 30 seconds, the server responds, then only mail will be sent out to the server. I mean, this is a different case, not synchronous or synchronous. So if it takes beyond 30 seconds, this mail adapter connection throws timeout error. Similarly, in synchronous asynchronous mode also, synchronous mode also. Okay. So if response is not received within the configured time, then timeout will be declared by this application. Clear? Usually some applications will have 1 minute of time. Some applications will have 5 minutes of time, not more than that. Not more than that. Okay. So if I ask a question in the class and I will wait for the, if nobody is responding, I sit idle for 15 minutes. What happens, guys? What happens?
Time duration will be there.
Time duration goes, right?
The class session.
Class will be over. So I cannot wait forever for the response. At certain point of time, I have to declare timeout. Okay. Similarly, here also application will be listening for certain amount of time. After that, it will throw timeout error. Okay.
So that error again we need to troubleshoot it, right, Praveen?
Yes, yes,
Means
yes.
like
Yes.
we should do that.
Yeah, troubleshooting means suppose here timeout error happens. So what does it mean? Timeout error on sender. That means this did not receive response from CPI. So now what will happen? This S4 gonna the sender application, the person from sender application will ask CPI, boss, I have sent a message to you, but I haven't received a response back. Then CPI
Then the
developer,
CPI
yeah, will check
will
the
go to
message
vendor
received.
and
Yeah, the message received, it processed to the receiver or failed here itself. If it processed to the receiver and this receiver is not responded back, then CPI guy conveys, boss, whatever the message you sent to me, I forward it to the receiver. Okay, my job is done. But the receiver
but
guy,
we did not
he
get
did
the
not
response.
send a response back. That's why I could not send you a response back. Okay. So now ultimately
Got it.
the culprit is this. So likewise, we all together has to troubleshoot any issue. So we need to check where the issue is first, whether it is in the sender application itself or in the CPI application or in the receiver application. So we need to locate the issue and then troubleshoot. If the issue is in CPI, then CPI developer has to troubleshoot. If the issue is in identified in receiver, then that side developer has to troubleshoot. Likewise. Yeah.
Clear, Praveen. Thank you.
Okay, guys, time's up for today. So we'll continue in the next class.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you all.